News Channel 5 Network. This is OpenLine.
Hello everyone, welcome to OpenLine. Good show tonight. We're talking about the challenges confronting our youth today, especially young men and boys. And in particular, I don't know how many people know this, the 37208 zip code has the highest arrest rate in the country. And we're going to be talking about some of the issues, again, confronting youth all over Nashville and really all over the country. Happy to have with us Bishop Kenneth Dupree from Victory Church. Thank you for being with us.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. And also Deacon Artie London, also from Victory Church.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And we're going to be talking about a program that you all are going to be doing this weekend. But I want to talk big picture first.
Okay.
What are we seeing? What are you seeing in the youth out there that is most concerning for you at this point?
Well, we're just seeing a large disparity within the African American community. It starts, I guess, with the adults. We're seeing 1 out of 3 African American males being arrested, according to the Justice Bureau statistics. And so we're seeing disproportionate number of men being arrested. We're seeing a disproportionate number of young men of color being disciplined in schools. We're seeing a disproportionate number then, because of this, of young men being able to be employed, being able to get housing.
Right.
I mean, it has a trickle-down effect that's just terrible. So these are the kinds of things that we're seeing. We're seeing a rise in homicide. We're seeing tremendous rise even in suicide. And so we, as people of faith, are just challenged to try to do something that can effect change.
Do you think things are worse now, more challenging now, than say when you were growing up? Or is it different challenges, or how would you compare it?
I would say that when we started the breakfast, probably about 10 plus years ago, we never thought how important it would be in today's society, today's world. I mean, as Bishop mentioned, the crime rate is just out of this world. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the breakfast plays a key role. Now keep in mind, and there are other organizations, there are other groups who are trying to achieve the same positive effect when it comes down to our young men. But this is our effort to try to, we putting in our effort to try to turn that incarceration rate around, bring it down.
When you're talking about a breakfast, you're talking, and we're going to get to that, but there's going to be a breakfast this Saturday.
Yes.
It's a father-son breakfast.
Right.
Yeah. And that is we're going to talk about that, but what we're also talking about is that bigger issue of, you know, what has brought us here. I mean, do you think things are worse now than they've ever been? And why? Why are things worse now, if that's the case?
I certainly think that things are worse, and I think that there are a number of statistics that would bear that out.
Right.
I suppose that as we look at the root of the problems, we'd have to talk honestly about racism and how that affects people and how that affects communities and how that affects lives. The struggle that African American men and men of color in general face is a struggle that is unlike any struggle that you could probably relate to. I mean, just imagine going to Starbucks and being arrested because you're there for a business meeting. You're not being rowdy, you're not homeless, you're working men, and you want to use the restroom, you're denied that, you don't make a ruckus, but police are called and you go to jail. Imagine being a student at an Ivy League college. You're in the lounge, you've been studying for exams, you fall asleep, and a white student sees you asleep in the lounge, calls the police. The police come. You use your key to open your door, and still we've got a problem. It's not believed that you are at this Ivy League school simply because of the color of your skin. And so numerous examples can be given as to how race is playing into this. I mean, if you look at the statistics, white children, black children in school, the way those children are disciplined is not going to be the same. and it ends up creating a problem that oftentimes lands that African American child in the criminal justice system.
So many people think we're moving forward, that we've made great progress. And on many levels you can point to progress,
Sure,
right?
Sure.
But when you see that the 37208 zip code has the issues that you're talking about, the
Yes.
#1 incarceration rate in the country,
Yes.
there's clearly a problem.
Yes.
And so what do you think, you named some national sort of examples there, what's going on in that one zip code in North Nashville here?
Well, my own personal experience in terms of what's going on, you could just talk, for example, about gentrification. Here you've got families that have grown up in this zip code, and now they are not able to stay in the zip code, which means now they're not even able to have housing. You have some persons there who've had family homes that you've got to make a decision now whether to buy medicine, buy food. You can't afford to keep your property up to codes. You run into a problem then with codes, because with gentrification you've got now a consistent number of codes, persons who drive through the community every week issuing citations. If you're not able to go to court and deal with those citations, then a lien can be placed against your home and you lose it. Or if you can't, for example, I owned a home in the 37208 zip. I was told, first of all, to board it up. Then I was told, paint the boards. Then a year later, I was told to paint the boards to match the house. And then a year later, I was told to tear the house down.
Oh, wow.
Now, if I couldn't have afforded to tear the house down, I would have lost the house and the property.
Right.
So a person who is choosing between health care, food, basic necessities, they may not be in a position to paint the house. And it's a family house that's been passed down to them, and now they've got to get out, and now we don't even have affordable housing for them, and so they're trying to figure out where to go and what to do.
Now, see, I think that's fascinating, and it's something we don't talk about enough.
Sure.
So what you're doing with this breakfast kind of allows us to talk about these bigger issues.
Yes.
But you mentioned this breakfast, and what is a father-son breakfast. Tell me a little bit about what you all are going to be doing. That'll be this Saturday.
Right.
But tell me a little bit about what you're going to be doing.
Well, we're bringing in boys and men from various communities. We're bringing them into a positive environment where we encourage them to be men of excellence, to pursue a successful lifestyle. And we have, as Bishop mentioned, we have that discussion going. We have panelists, as he mentioned, who talk about their stories, how they got to their success. And the audience has an opportunity to interact. We have mics positioned throughout the area where individuals can come up and ask questions to the panelists to get some idea as to what they should do. And it's an image. You can see yourselves, or yourself rather, on the stage with these gentlemen. You can be a lawyer, you can be a doctor, you can be a young man that makes bow ties. So we're just trying to encourage them to think about ways they can achieve and do better. And I'm going to read you verbatim what come out of the Washington Post. It says 1 in 7 children, male and female, born in North Nashville, Tennessee, between 1980 and 1986, could expect to end up incarcerated on any given day in their early 30s, the highest rate in the nation among high population zip codes. That's just, it's sad.
Why do you think that's happening? Is that a breakdown of the family? Is that a breakdown of the criminal justice system? Is it, you know, where is the big, and I bet it's both, but where do you think the problems lie there?
I think one of the problems is a high child poverty rate. You're looking at low-income families. You're looking at individuals who are not able to move from that environment to one that's better because they can't afford. They're not making enough money to move out of that area, and it's like they're in a box.
Yeah, not only are they in a box, but one would have to admit that we have a system that that does not, it is not really sensitized to the lost, the least, the disenfranchised.
Right.
And when you have a system that you're fighting against, it will affect economy. I can't get a job. So the very basic things in life that one is able to pay for and should have access to, education, health care, jobs, you're unable to get them, housing. And then you start doing what you can to live. And if that involves selling drugs, if that involves selling your body, if that, there are a number of things that involves that breeds all kind of negative stuff. If that is not addressed, I mean, what does one do? I mean, if your child is in school and the child gets to school and he's hungry because you've not been able to eat, that child is distracted. That child is not attentive. That child is then labeled. It's a combination of things that.
So is there not enough attention paid? I mean, some of this we've heard, some of it we haven't. And do you think that enough people don't know, enough people don't seem concerned or care?
Enough people don't care. I mean, you know, it seems that today everyone is concerned about themselves. So what we're trying to do is to reach out to men and young men and have a discussion about success. Have a discussion about possibilities. When was the last time we talked to someone to encourage them to say, you can overcome your circumstance, you can overcome your obstacles, and here's how I've overcome mine. When do we take the time to invest in the least, the lost, the disenfranchised? And even if we don't get anything out of it, they are helped. When is the last time that we've been to a school to share it so that kids can see men reading and men caring and men loving and men lifting? The world needs love. And people are dying today because of a lack of love. It seems like everyone is more concerned about themselves and their own agenda than they are the lives of others. So this is just our attempt to do something. This is our attempt to contribute something that can empower men. Because when you empower men, then you can empower the family. When you can empower the family and reweave the fabric of the family, then we can see communities changed. So we do that under the banner of our faith.
It's a church. Yeah, you're with a church.
Absolutely.
It's the Victory Church.
Yes.
And this is through the Victory Empowerment Center, which is a branch of the church.
Yes.
But it's the church that's doing this.
Yeah, so we believe that faith is key. So we work out our faith through mentoring and contributing and talking and trying to create a climate where everybody is somebody. You can come in casual, you can come in any kind of way and still be embraced and still be in love, and someone is talking with you, sharing with you. As a result of the talking and sharing, you may end up with a job. Or you may find a landlord there that can do some things to help you with housing. Or you may find a tutor. A number of things that can happen as we talk. We don't have enough opportunities because men don't like to talk. Women like to talk, but men have a tendency to bottle it up and keep it inside. And so we at this breakfast provide a safe place where men can talk and not be judged. So it doesn't matter if you're a convict, it doesn't matter if you're a preacher, it doesn't matter if you're a drug dealer, just come and let's talk about strategies for success.
All right, we have to take a break. That's fascinating. And it kind of sets the table for the discussion. If you want to call in, there's the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.